Welcome to a new era, where the future meets the past.
Finland is not real.
Above and beyond.
Helen Keller was a fraud.
Beyond.
It's never too early for Christmas.
There's a new place.
Grandma always says you need a lemon tree.
And a new time.
Temperature isn't real.
Perhaps the right place.
Lost my penis in the early 90s.
Right place, then the right time. Discovery awaits. Right time. Right place, right time.
You ever, something funny? You ever think about how certain things get their reputation in terms of sayings? Because I saw something the other day, and you already went through your first class. Good stuff.
Yeah, I chugged that.
I saw something that I don't know, a few days ago, and it was like this video of this dude who was like, I just want to know how bad something was that this Tom guy did to have an entire category of foolery named after him. And then it was one of those videos where I saw it, I kept going, and then I went back and I was like, wait, that's actually pretty funny.
Yeah, you're like, I'm interested in this.
Yeah, and so, it begs the question, right? Like, I don't even want to know what Jose suggested to say, no way, Jose.
Oh,
okay?
Yeah.
Or how bad did Daisy fumble the bag? That someone was like, oopsie daisy, like these kinds of things. I thought that was pretty funny.
I've never thought of that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what else is like us saying.
How silly was Billy,
How negative was Nancy?
I don't even want to know.
Dude,
yeah, see, she's
dragging everybody down.
I think the other one I saw that I really liked was like, but for real, how smart was Alec? Smart Alec.
It's so funny because never mind. I can't say that. Some might consider it ableist.
Okay. Yeah, I got you. Well, yeah, I don't know. It is kind of funny because then we'll never know where these. Actually, there probably are stories of how these things originated.
Oh,
like,
for sure.
How silly was that goose? I need to know. I need to know.
I know there was like a story about Guy, right?
Okay.
There was a dude. So Guy is still a name, but it's also just what you call people.
Yeah.
I know there was a story. He was like some political. His name was Guy something, and he made a fool of himself. So eventually, his name became like what you would call people when they're
like those guys
when they're acting a fool, right?
Okay.
So when they were acting a fool, you'd be like, oh, those guys. And eventually, people just said guys enough, where it no longer meant acting a fool. It just meant people, like a person.
Yeah.
So that was like, it had 3 stages. It was the dude named Guy.
Okay.
And then it was like named people after him. Oh, look at those guys over there. And it would be like goobers, right?
Sure.
Oh, look at those goobers. Or it's like, look at those guys. Ha,
yeah.
ha.
Yeah.
And then eventually it just became like if we just started calling each other goobers. Hey, what up, goobers? Like, not even calling you a name, but just like,
just
y'all are my goobers.
Sure. Or like, you model that after the same model, right? Let's say you're one of your friends, named Frank.
Oh yeah.
Messes up, and you're like, all right, like stop being a Frank.
Yeah, dude.
And then that just catches on, right? That's like the same.
That's just a Frank thing, yeah.
Yes.
What a Frank's.
All right, bro. Stop being a Frank. All right?
Yeah.
That's enough.
Such a Frank move. Right
Yeah. Or maybe even my favorite might be Tomfoolery's brother, Jerry Foolery.
Jerry Foolery.
Maybe that's the one.
He wasn't as much of a fool.
No, I guess not, because it's not really as known.
No, not as well known. Or maybe he was pretty foolish, but Tom just outfooled him.
Yeah. I feel like that's like a private matter,
Yeah.
Private matter. There you go.
I like it.
That was pretty funny. Also, like, I do think. Well, I read these all, and it. Of course, these are now my ideas though, because I'm saying them
into a microphone.
Right. So I just
don't believe everything you read on the internet.
Of course,
but believe everything that you hear someone say into the microphone.
Yeah, of course, and it helps if you see us say it into the microphone.
If you see them talking into the microphone and they say something, believe them.
Sure.
Did I tell you one of my best performing TikToks recently is just me spreading misinformation?
Oh yeah, the Joe Biden picture, right?
I just straight up on April Fool's, I just photoshopped a fake CNN article saying that Joe Biden was inquiring about hanging up like manga art on
Yeah,
the
yeah,
walls, and I was
yeah.
like, oh, it's my best performing one in like a month.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, you know what, dude? See, that works. You just gotta say whatever you want. I mean, why not?
Yeah, and
Like,
just
if I said right now, we will have nuclear powered cars. Who's to say that I'm not lying? I mean,
this just
th-
in.
yeah.
We're watching CNN right now.
Yeah.
They just announced
Wow.
nuclear powered cars. Look at that.
Yeah. That's straight up a nuclear powered car.
Coming out in 25.
And let me
25.
guess, do you want to try to call me out on some sort of saying pronunciation again, or are you just going to accept it this time?
I don't even know if you said
You
it weird.
probably say caramel. You're a fraud.
Oh, I don't. That's
No, I think you
annoying.
do. You know what?
I
You-
said the right way. Caramel.
You probably say almond, okay?
Ooh.
Does that bother you? Salmon?
Does
okay?
anyone actually say
Yeah.
almonds?
Oh, yeah. I've heard it. And
They,
it
I
made
think we
me...
need to cut their tongues out.
No, I think so too. I like to group these people together. It's not good to generalize, of course. However, in this scenario, it is.
Yeah,
You have people who say almond, which is not correct. That's false.
Yeah.
You have people who say caramel.
Oh yeah.
You have people who bite Kit Kats straight on.
Oh yeah.
That's unacceptable.
Absolutely.
And you also in the same category are people who the double bubble rolls.
Oh, who just bite the sign?
That's psychotic. That's actually like an
What
issue.
do you feel about people who add R's to like words that aren't supposed to? Like my grandfather, right?
I don't
He
think
was
I've
like,
ever
"Oh, we
encountered
gotta
that.
wash the dishes." It's like,
Oh no!
what?
My grandma did do that, or my grandpa did that. Yeah,
Yeah.
wash. It was the same word actually.
Wash,
That's
yeah.
yeah.
Or like, oh, we gotta run the washing machine.
Yeah.
Huh? What? Spell it out for me, right? Why don't we
Yeah.
phonetically sound it out? Where are you getting that R from?
That's right.
Wash.
You know what though? I might play devil's advocate here because I actually like the addition of silent words or hard pronunciated words. Like I like to tell people sometimes, I'll say, yeah, those are the pyramids, of Giza. And let's just say, for an example, and they're like, okay, writing that down. How do you spell that? Oh, that's pyramid with a silent Z.
Oh,
And then they actually, for a second, they're like, wait, with a Z? And I'll be like, yeah. Or, here's what's really fun. You go, yeah, that's combustuous, spelled with a silent 7. Then they're like, wait, a silent number? And
Oh,
you're
yeah.
like, oh yeah, silent numbers. Here to stay, baby.
dude.
Yeah. Like Miles, I can promise you this right now. Your name is spelled with a silent 5 and a silent X, and I'm here for it.
I guess
Yeah.
I was just see. I could never pull it off because I suck at spelling to begin with. So like, I would just
Let's do a spelling bee right now.
I would just lie to them.
Spell presumptuous.
No.
Try it. Let's hear it. Here we go.
Here's the thing. This segment's gonna take like 5 minutes before I can even finish the word. It's gonna be like
Spell it out.
PRE
PRE.
SUM
Uh-huh.
TU.
Nope.
Yeah.
There's a P in there.
There's a P.
Presumptuous.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
Spell xylophone. That's an easy one. Come on.
X,
Here we go.
the hyphen, right?
I was like, what letter is that one?
That's the-
Just got that.
it's
The
just the little-
dash.
it's the dash,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. No, it doesn't have that, but just xylophone.
X, Y,
Uh-huh. Come on.
L,
There you go.
A.
Nope.
Oh, I'm
Oh.
gonna kill myself.
Hey, no, you're...
I
Okay.
am like,
Good to know.
I'm pretty sure I might be dyslexic. I really don't know. I suck at spelling.
I'm dyslexic too.
dude,
No, I'm
dude.
not. Yeah.
You know what's a hard word to say?
Tell me.
So you got racist, but what if
Oh,
you
boy.
are?
Okay.
What if you don't like people who are dyslexic? You're dyslexist.
Well, just ableist.
No, specifically dyslexic people only though. You like everyone else, just like you're a dyslexist.
See, that is interesting.
Spell dyslexist, huh? How about that?
Dyslexist.
Here's the thing: if you
Okay.
get it wrong, I wouldn't know.
Yeah, I know. Well, it's not a real word, so there's no
It's
there's
gotta
no
be a real word.
no there is no canonical definition to this.
Who
Isn't that
writes
kind
the
of funny?
canon?
I was thinking about human canon.
I guess the victors,
pretty-
right?
Yeah.
Whoever wins
Well, it's
writes
never-
the canon.
Actually, I take that back because nowadays things can just be added into the dictionary just because it's like a societal thing. So that is
Oh yeah,
That
And
is
just
a
like
little-
You could be gaslit into being like, "Hey,
100%.
this happened on the news." It's like, "Oh, did it?" Actually, no, it didn't.
Yeah.
I'm like, "Wait, what?"
Yeah.
Or they just straight out lie. They're like, "Hey, this is what happened."
Yep.
And you know,
It's
more
not.
news comes out.
That's right.
And they just never correct it. So that's just how it goes
That-
down in the history books.
See, that's actually funny. You know what fun video we should do, and I would love to do this.
Yeah.
I would love to try to gaslight someone into thinking they don't even know how to spell their name. That's hilarious. I mean, you walk up to someone in the mall. Hey, how's it going, sir, today? Can we do a quick video? Sure. What's your name, sir? Jeffrey. Oh, Jeffrey. My friend, I have a friend named Jeffrey, too.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love how you spell your name. Hey, can you spell your name for me? Have them spell it out because,
Yeah,
of
yeah,
course,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
just normal. And you're like, I'm really sorry. I don't want it in front of the camera, but that's not how you spell your name.
That's wrong. Did
And-
your parents mess that up? Is that on Are you sure you're pronouncing it correctly?
Dude, yes. See, if you get someone to think enough that there is a correct pronunciation, because really there isn't. Anything could be spelled any way. But if you get something as simple as John, you're like, wait, spell your name?
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
they spell it and you're like, oh, bro, no, that's not it.
Dude, the people who
That's
have
not
like
it.
the really weird spelled names bother me so much.
Mm.
Where they just
But it's not their fault.
No,
it's their parents' fault.
We
Yeah.
hate the parents.
Okay.
Oh,
Give me
man.
an example.
I can't think of one off the top of my head.
Okay.
But people who are like, I don't know.
I saw a Caitlin once spelled with.
Caitlin. That's the one that can be spelled like a bazillion different ways.
I've seen one spelled with a Q.
Oh,
And-
like Quaitlin.
Yeah, pretty much. But I didn't like that. I was like, that's not how you spell your name.
Yeah, no.
You've got your name wrong.
It's like, okay, I hope you know that your name is spelled incorrectly. It's
Yeah.
like, oh well, this is how my name's spelled. It's wrong.
Yeah, it's
right?
actually not right.
Only because it was officiated wrong
Yeah.
doesn't mean it's correct.
The doctors are complicit, actually, in doing that. Because if I was a doctor who when you asked, what would you like to name your son or daughter, and they told me that, I'd be like, no, that's not right.
Yeah, you get the birth
Yeah.
certificate. You're like,
Yeah. Yeah.
let's just
Yeah.
There
And you
we
give
go.
it back
Much
to them.
better.
Yeah, yeah. The parents are like, oh, wait, we asked for it to be spelled with. Yeah, no, I
yeah,
saw
no,
what
that
you.
was just wrong.
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, we should normalize that, dude. I don't want to see. No, yeah, I'm not going to see the name Alex spelled Alecks. That's not real. That's not real, and it's not canon. You can't do
No.
that. Who let you do that?
We need to, yeah,
That's not acceptable.
and also stop like combining names like
Yeah.
Jackson or like
Sure.
I don't know.
Jackstopher.
Jackstopher. Like
Yeah.
people are like, oh, dude,
Yeah.
there's some dumb names out there.
Yeah.
This is my son, like Forest Fire.
Oh,
And
yeah.
You're like, oh, what?
Yeah. It's like, oh, well, I won't be regarding him by his name then.
Yeah, no.
Well, look, you know Gwyneth Paltrow, the
Oh,
actress?
no. What is her kid's name?
Her son's name is Apple.
That sucks.
Yeah, yeah. Well, okay, so here's another funny thing, right? This comes to, in my opinion, intername beef. What do you think about guys whose names are Miles with a Y?
I hate them. I
Oh.
actually do. This is the thing that happens whenever I meet anyone and they're like, oh, Miles.
Yeah.
First thing is, Y or an I? And if they go Y, I just
You cut him
stop
off.
the handshake. Like, that's not, I don't like that.
you wipe your hand. You're like,
Yeah,
what
I'm like,
the-
oh,
what are we
my
doing
bad.
here?
But if it's like with an
Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
then
Okay.
let's go, dude.
Here's a
We
fun
are
question.
united.
What if it's a I and a Y? Go
I
fornicate
think,
yourself.
yeah, I'm gonna piss on them. I think.
Yeah.
You know, straight up. I'm just
Good
gonna like,
stuff.
oh well. First I'm gonna beat them up.
Okay. Good.
Then I'm going to steal their ID from them.
Oh, great.
I'm
Correct,
gonna
yep.
then steal their identity. I'm gonna take their social security number, all that, and then I'm going to go through the legal process of changing their name. And then they'll wake up like a few months later. I'll give them all the paperwork and be like, "There, I fixed it.
I fixed it for
I
you.
fixed it."
Yeah.
But I'll still give them a Y instead of the I because if I had to go through all that, they don't deserve to be on my level.
I'm assuming part of the process is going to their parents and confronting them and telling them, "Hey, you guys did this wrong," right?
Well,
Like, you
the
gotta
thing
tell
is,
them.
I'm holding their son for ransom,
Okay,
right? So,
good.
I mean, I'm not going to pay for it out of pocket. I'm going to
Sure.
be like, hey, I'm holding your son.
Yeah.
He's tied up in my basement.
Yeah.
I'm going to hurt him unless you pay me. And I do the math to see how much all this paperwork's going to cost.
Yep.
That much plus a little money for my pocket, right? Then they give me the money. All right, we'll be back in however long it takes me to get this done.
Sure.
Do everything.
Yep. On
then,
your 10 laptops.
Yeah, exactly. 10 laptops. Then
Yeah.
everything gets done. Send him home with
Great.
his brand new fixed name.
There you go. Yeah. I like
Sounds
that.
done.
Okay, see that's good. That's good advice. Here's a
Is
fun
your
one.
name ever spelled different or is it just the one? It's biblical, right? So
You
there's
know
not
what?
many-
You would
there
think
are
so.
not many
There,
ways to mess that up.
I've seen it one time with an A instead of an O, which did make me a little angry. Like Jasiah.
Josiah.
Yeah, it's not right.
No, it's not.
I've known actually. So I will say, I've never seen another person really spelled differently except that one. Although I personally have been called plenty of different names that people confuse it with, which actually bugs me too.
What
and
other
I'll go
names
through
are there?
so
what other names?
The most common is Joshua, which is a little understandable. Okay, that's the most. Out of the list I'm going to tell you, that's the most, okay?
Right.
Isaiah, which
That
like,
one's
okay.
kind of weird.
If you don't hear the J, then it's the most similar. So
Yeah,
whatever. Okay. Now, prepare yourself. Okay. Now, Joseph. Okay. You had the first half.
Yeah, you forgot that there are more syllables,
Yeah.
right?
Now, my not actually second least favorite. I've been called Jericho
Ooh.
by a coworker.
Oh, I knew
When
a
I-
kid named Jericho. He was a toddler. Didn't really like him.
It probably stayed that way.
Oh,
No
yeah.
one's named Jericho. That's not
Yeah,
right.
because the walls come tumbling down.
That's right. So I was at it's when I worked at Safeway, and this lady, she kept calling me. She was like Jericho, and I was like I wasn't like looking because I'm like that's not my name, right?
Right.
So eventually she like taps me on the shoulder, and I was like, and she's like Jericho, can you come help me? And I was like, I'm like wearing a name tag. I'm like hello.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you read?
Yeah. My least favorite though, I have been to my face called Hezekiah. That's not my name.
They're just thinking of any biblical name. Hey, Habakkuk.
Yeah, it's like, hi, my name's Josiah. Nice to meet you, Amos.
Yeah,
it's like,
Amos. It's like, where
wait,
did you
hold
get
on.
that?
Wait, you just heard me say. So yeah, that was
Yeah.
it.
Hey, Noah. You're like, that's
What? Yeah,
wrong guy.
the
dude.
wrong one.
Saul.
Yeah. I think the whole name like confusion is kind of funny. I have a buddy named Eric, and it's spelled with a K, which is
Ugh.
I actually like that way. And I think the people who name with a C are not canon.
Eh.
I think
I
only
guess I've only-
because it has a Scandinavian history, so it's cooler.
Yeah. I've
So-
only ever known Eric's with a C, so I guess that's what I'm used to. But a K is cooler.
Again, I will say I've seen one too. Erick.
Nah, choose one, dude.
That's
You
what
don't
I'm
need the
saying, but
double.
you
don't
can't-
need the double at
No,
the
you
end.
can't. No.
You absolutely don't need the double at the end.
Have you? This could be a. Have you thought about what you might want to name your kids?
Oh, a ton.
I bet you have. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Give me. We're not gonna go too deep here. Just give me your top two for each gender.
One would be Sophia, just
Okay.
because that's what I would have been if I was a girl. So I'll pass
Oh, really?
that down. Yeah.
Okay.
Another one for Sophia.
Yeah.
Don't
So if you
know.
have a girl,
I mean, another one for a girl. I'm not sure. I'll leave that up to
Okay.
my girlfriend.
there you go. Now if you have a boy,
For son,
Yeah.
either Ezekiel or
Okay.
Judo.
judo, like Judo, like the martial arts.
French. I think it's like EUDO, something else. I don't remember the spelling.
Interesting.
It's longer.
And where
It's
did
like
that come
judo.
from? Oh no.
I'm not gonna tell you.
Oh no. Okay. I think I already know. That's okay.
Joseph would be sick too.
You know, I thought
It's
about
classic.
Joseph, but
Joseph's
it is.
a good
It's a little overdone, I feel. But for the biblical side of it, it's a cool name.
It is a cool name.
Yeah, that's cool.
Biblical Joseph is the closest mirror to Jesus Christ in the way his story is told.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, God picked a good man. But yeah, I like Joseph. I think for me, I've always liked like the number one. My firstborn son's name will be Hunter. I very much like that name. I've thought a lot about other names.
Ooh, what about Gunner? I met a kid named Gunner once.
Gunner.
Did not like him.
I don't think I would do Gunner.
Yeah.
I did think about like Tucker.
You got to be careful though, especially if you think of like these cool names, because then you have to like really make sure that this kid turns out good.
Oh, I know. Yeah. Well,
right? If you name your kid Hunter,
hold on.
you gotta like.
Yes.
He's got to be the coolest dude out there.
I'm a little
You
actually.
can't have like a frat hunter. You can't have
Whoa,
like a
whoa, whoa.
nerdy hunter. So,
Whoa.
my name's Hunter. It's like, all right.
Listen, if you're
No.
disrespecting my son already, we're gonna have some problems here.
I'm not
We're gonna have some
disrespecting him
problems.
yet.
Oh,
because-
yet? Really?
No,
Yeah?
I'm just saying.
If you
'cause
ever do it, we'll have some issues.
Well,
okay.
Don't raise an easily disrespectable
No.
son.
I'll come over and talk trash to judo. Okay.
I trust that you're gonna raise a cool son.
Of course.
I'm just saying,
He's
if
my
you
son.
gave him
Yeah,
a
of
cool
course.
name, you
Sure.
gotta be extra careful. Because if you name your kid like, okay, first of all, never name your kid Aiden. Every Aiden I've ever met, do not like.
I don't think I would ever name my son Aiden.
Well, actually, shut up, Aiden.
Oh,
all right?
damn.
That's the Aidens for
You know what another name like that is? Cameron.
Ooh.
Cameron is 100% a. Well, if you think no, Cameron.
Teacher, you forgot to give us homework.
Oh, guess what, Cameron? You forgot to have a dad because you left your life. So sorry, bro. No. That's on that list.
With like Hunter,
Yep.
there are a few different ways that could go. You just have to make sure.
No, he'll be
Because
good.
like with like Joseph, there's a bunch of different ways he go. He could. That's like
Joseph
a safe name.
would strike me as a bit of a quieter person, not in a
Exactly.
bad way, but a
Exactly. Like
quiet
with a
person.
Joseph, there are different ways that could go.
Yeah.
And it's all good. You know, they could be a little bit more nerdy. They could be a little bit more masculine. It's like Joseph, very basic, a lot of options there. But if with a Hunter,
Yeah.
that's where it's like
Oh, he'll be cool. Trust me,
yeah.
he'll be cool.
He's got a beard,
I saw.
right?
Yeah, of course.
like the guy who played for the Giants. What was his name? Hunter.
Hunter Pence.
Ooh, Hunter.
That
Pence.
was one of the first reasons I wanted to name my son
He's
Hunter.
a good hunter.
He's my favorite Giants player, so I always wanted to.
I used to bat like him. I was a very low batter, squatted hella low.
Yeah, yeah, it's a very unorthodox stance, but I liked it for it.
Yeah, it worked
I will
for
say, I think I saw something about how like names today are nothing like they used to be. Because I mean, like imagine being named, I don't know how you pronounce the first one. I think it's Ives Saint Laurent. It's like, dude, like that's that, or like Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart.
Yeah,
Like that goes
yeah,
tough,
yeah,
you know.
yeah. That goes
But-
insane.
Yeah.
Also, like, since we were talking about biblical names, I've never understood when they're like he was named. I think it's like Isaiah, which means was like God with us or something.
No, Ishmael, I think, is God with us.
What does Isaiah mean or something? Let's just.
Or Emmanuel, I think, is God with us.
Isaac means like laughter, right?
I don't remember. But yeah, let's go with that. What's up?
I think so.
Yeah.
It's like it means laughter in what language? Hebrew.
Oh, I think the original. Yeah, probably.
So that
the
they're-
original Hebrew.
So you're just calling your kid laughter. That's like if in our English we were just like, "This is my son." Funny.
Maybe. Yeah, but maybe it translates to like he brings laughter. Like he's like a happy person.
Right, but what I'm saying is, now
Sure.
we have those names. Like my name means soldier in Latin,
Okay.
right? But my name isn't soldier in English.
Well,
But
that's because of language discrepancies. Because languages don't always translate to English 100%. So that's why laughter might not actually be laughter. It's just that that's like the closest translation.
Right,
Because
that's
like
what I'm always confused though. Because like, is that his name? Like when they were to refer to him, how
no.
within their understanding?
Yeah,
how
yeah.
does it go?
I'm not sure. I mean, I would imagine that his name was probably Isaac or Isaac, but the meaning is what I'm saying is probably differently translated. Because I know words in Swedish that there are no words in English for. It's just they don't translate. So I can only imagine that in Hebrew there are probably words that there is no English translation. So
Rather than like, let's say Isaac means laughter.
okay, or to us it means laughter.
Right, right. How would you like within that context? I guess I just got to study Hebrew because
I mean, yeah,
I've
man.
never understood that. Because if you're talking about like laughter, would you drop Isaac? Like, oh yeah, this guy I know, he's a really funny guy. He brings lots of laughter, right? Would you say like he brings lots of Isaac?
No.
And then
See,
within
that's I think you're misunderstanding. So, like my name, from what I've heard, means like fire of God.
Right, but
Josiah.
in what language?
No. Well, I think the way I think of it is not like it's. I don't think it's a word that is something literally. I think it's that like there are certain meanings behind certain words, right? Like let's
for,
hold on.
for us, that's because like the word is
Hold on.
dissected and has a history.
But in English, right? If you say that, that person was really fiery at work today. That word "fiery" means something. It means like you're using it as a reference point for something. So you were saying that person was fiery today. That means like like she was like pissed off, she was angry, or she was like aggressive, whatever. So I think that it's just that these these words because of how they're made. Like Hebrew, I don't know anything about.
Right.
So I'm saying that there's probably it's with how it's like, with how the parts of the word make up the word is probably why it means that thing. In the same way that like, what is it like? Like philosophy, right? It's
Right.
broken up. Philo, sophy, like it means something because of the
there's
makeup.
the root and there's the.
So I'm just saying, I think that's it. I think you're overthinking a little bit.
Man, I don't know, because like Apple,
Just a little bit.
Like you were talking about Gwyneth Paltrow.
Yeah.
That's Apple,
Sure.
right? If someone who spoke a different language named
Mm-hmm.
their kid Apple, in English, that would not then directly mean.
Because
Just like, okay,
because
my
it's
name
universal
means,
though.
My name means soldier, right? If I was born in ancient Rome,
Mm-hmm.
they would just call me soldier. Hey, soldier. Hey,
No,
soldier.
no.
That's what I'm saying.
no, but
or like
see-
right now, there's a kid named Apple or Arrow. We just call him that because that's the thing. Arrow. So back then, if your name was Laughter, when people just say, "Hey, yo, what up, Laughter?"
Yeah, see, no, I think you're overthinking it by a step. Because I like if you're saying your name means soldier, but
name's
that it's not the flip though. It's not that like if you were around in that culture, it's not like it's the other way around. Like it's opposite of like they would call you that. It's like they would still call you by your name. It's just that one, it'd be spelled differently because it's a different language.
No,
but
well,
two,
my name would actually.
I'm just
I
I'm not
studied-
saying your
I
name. I'm just
studied
saying
Latin
okay.
for 4 years.
Great.
Yeah, it would being the because there's different endings for it depending on what part of speech it is. It would just be miles
Like-
is how you know.
Okay, yeah, okay. The last thing I would say, if you were to go in a dictionary
Yeah.
and you were to read the meanings of words, right? Let's say you read the meaning of whatever, a glass,
Yeah.
and it said, a cylindrical object that holds liquids or whatever. Okay, maybe that's not a good example. Whatever. You read the definition of any word.
Right.
Just because you know the meaning of that word doesn't then mean anytime you reference it, you call it by its meaning. You still call it by its name.
Right, but the name, like Apple,
No.
the name
Okay.
is Apple, and it means
Right.
what it means.
But if you're at the store and you see an apple, you still say, I'll have an apple. Or do you say, let me have a red fruit that has an outer skin that's tough but a softer
right.
interior with juice? No, you say an apple because that's the name of it. So that's what I'm saying. There are still names for references, but there can still be meanings. It's just that, yeah. So Miles could be soldier, but it's not like then you would go around in your culture and looking at a person named Miles and call them a soldier because that's just
we call people gunner, and that's a thing.
That's their
a
name.
gunner, right?
Yeah.
And it means a gunner.
Well,
Someone
yeah, but
who-
that's a more modern name. I mean, I don't know.
Right, but I'm just
Maybe
saying,
there's-
it's a modern name
Yes.
in our language.
Sure.
My name is a name from a different language. So
Sure.
if I was
mean, yeah.
around when that language was the modern language, it would be the same thing. I would be soldier, just like current people are like gunner. Right?
I don't think so.
All
I
right,
don't
tune
think
in
so,
next
but-
week after we've studied like
I think
well, not etymology. What's the
yeah. Etymology,
after we
the
start
history,
we're gonna study etymology on a week where we're gonna come back.
I mean, look. I think yeah, it's okay, man. Just look up what you gotta look up.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
I did
That's-
I did study Latin for 4 years. Didn't really come in handy, but
Latin.
yeah, I studied Latin for 4 years. So now when I drive by government buildings and I see it say things, I can go like, hey, that means something.
There you go. Yeah.
You know?
Well, that's fun. I mean, that's I'm the same way in IKEAs. I can read the tags on things and be like, oh, I know what that says.
Did you know that there's a whole like sect of IKEA workers who all they do is they make sure that the words or the names of these products don't sound like a naughty word in a different language.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because there were
Yeah.
like there were some things that slipped out of the woodworks, and it was like, dick.
Oh, sure.
And it's a Swedish thing, but then
Yeah.
the English people are like, oh, like a penis.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
then they had to like, oh, okay, we gotta make sure that when we release things, it's not
Yeah.
a dirty word.
Yeah, it's like a little PR control.
Oh
kinda.
yeah, exactly.
I mean, it is fun. Yeah, that's always been kind of funny of like how words will translate and like you think like dude, there's Chinese. There's a combination. I think it's of two Chinese words. I'm not sure. I think it's two. I mean, it sounds like
not
the
Chinese words. It's either Mandarin or
Cantonese.
Cantonese.
Yeah, so I think it's Mandarin. I don't know. I'm not assuming. I think it is, and it sounds like like the N word. And so no, and it does. And so
Dude, there's a lot of
just
that
funny.
in Japanese, it's like you or me or something. So like if you ever watch anything in Japanese, sometimes they just be dropping the N-word, and you're like, that's crazy, bro. That's kind of crazy. It's
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah. It just sounds, catches you off guard for a second. But
Oh yeah.
yeah, I also remember, actually, whatever, that's a point in the story. Yeah. But
Quit while you're ahead.
yeah,
Nice.
yeah. So anyway, all to say, yeah, I would go with Hunter. And I think, for a while I liked the name Titus, and that is a sick
Titus
name.
is a sick name.
But I told you there is a reason I probably couldn't, which has to do with my
what about like Leon?
Leon. That's a French name.
Yes.
I wouldn't name my son a French name.
That's true.
Personally,
But it
I mean
sounds
that's
cool.
just my opinion. I'm
Yeah.
not saying the people who do are wrong.
I'm just gonna say some random names that are like not normal names. Tell me what you think. Let's go with like Arrow first of all.
Arrow.
Since I said that during my little spiel.
Arrow. No.
Giorno.
Giorno.
No. Brick.
No.
Fugo.
It's like it's too. They all sound French. I mean, or like more or less like European.
Giorno, yeah, like Giorno's Italian.
I mean, Italians have.
Fugo's Italian too.
There are some Swedish names. Like if I were to ever marry a Swedish girl, or just even out of a middle name reference to a
Is
Swedish.
Brett Cooper
No,
Swedish?
like yeah, maybe no.
Yeah.
But there are definitely some Swedish names that I really like. That I would either do first name or middle name for my son. That's racist, and I won't accept it. For one, I mean it's a classic, but I really love the name Bjorn. It means bear in Swedish, but it's a cool name. I really like the name Magnus. I think that's a very cool name.
That's a Latin name.
Oh, there you go. It's
I know
very
because they end in the U.S. Magnus.
Okay, so that's
means
cool.
Big. If I recall, Magnus.
I like. There's a name Vitserk, which is Hvitserk.
Svitzer.
Vitserk, and I really like that name.
What does that mean?
I'm actually not sure of the meaning. I just
You just like how it sounds.
yeah. I mean, I've seen it a few times, and I like that name. There's also like, here's the thing. I don't think I could actually name my son this because it's almost too big of a name to live up to.
Oh,
But there's a name, Ragnar.
that's tough.
He's arguably known as the greatest Viking who ever lived, Ragnar Lodbrok.
Yeah, no. You
And
can't
I
name
don't
your
think I
son
could
that.
name my son
If-
like
yeah,
that doesn't
if you
work.
name your son that, he has to at some point become some sort of warlord.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. Yeah. No,
right?
like,
He's
bro,
gotta
you
be-
can't.
yeah.
Dude, you can't have a son named Ragnar who grows up to be like
Who, like,
5'8" and weighs like 160 pounds.
yeah,
That's not
who's
going to
an
work.
accountant.
Yeah.
If
No,
you name,
stop.
If you name your
No
kid
shot.
Ragnar,
No shot. Yeah.
he has to overthrow some sort of government.
Yeah, dude.
And like be some
100%.
sort of tyrannical leader.
Yeah.
That just is how
A tyrant. He's a tyrant.
Yeah, he has
Yeah,
to.
yeah.
He has to be like a warlord. Whether
Yeah,
he's
so
like honorable, he has to be some sort of like tyrant.
Yeah.
Dictator type thing.
Yeah. I could not do
What about
that.
like Hardrada?
Hardrada.
Named after King Harold Hardrada of I think it was Norway?
Yeah, no, I wouldn't. I don't think I would do that.
He was
It's a little-
you ever heard of the Battle of Stamford Bridge? Mm-hmm. Exactly. He was the Viking king of that time. Harold Hardrada, he's the one who invaded England trying to take the English throne.
Yes. Yeah.
Hardrada.
I know. Yeah.
Maybe
I know the
think
name now.
Hardrada would be a better middle name, right?
Maybe. Yeah.
You know?
I think that because like yeah,
His younger brother's name was Olaf. Not as cool. He was a cool guy, you know. They have songs about him, about Prince Olaf, but Olaf just isn't a cool name because now I think about the little guy from Frozen.
Frozen. Yeah. It's not as cool for sure. I think there were a couple like girl Scandinavian names that I kind of liked, but to be honest with you, and this isn't a sexist thing. I'm just the same way where I've more thought about boy names.
For sure.
Having said that, I want a daughter and a son.
absolutely.
Like I want both. I thought that there's one girl named Åsa. It's an A with a circle above it and an SA. It's a little interesting. I mean,
There's a little interesting.
there's a classic like Elsa. I don't think I would name my daughter Elsa.
Nah, people would think it's after Frozen.
Yeah, right, and that's not okay. And then, but that's like Swedish, like American. I mean, there are like some Southern names. Like I like Mackenzie or like in Canada
don't.
or something like that. You
That's
don't.
just
Well,
'cause
that's
I know people.
Yeah, it's
who,
because
like,
you're racist and you don't like Southern people. That's what it
Nah,
is.
it's just I know people, and now those names are forever tainted, whether
Sure.
good or bad, by
Okay.
these people.
Gotcha.
Right?
Yeah.
Greek names are pretty cool,
Greek names are very cool.
right?
Yeah.
Athanasius,
Yeah.
Onassis,
Perseus is very cool.
Cosmas.
Yeah.
Sick names.
Yeah. No,
But
there's a
I can't name my kid that unless they're gonna be hairy.
yeah.
So
There-
I'm not a hairy guy. I couldn't do that. You can't have you can't have an Onassis that can't grow a beard, right? That's a shameful thing.
There has to be some level of facial hair at the minimum, and they got to be a little big too.
Oh, yeah.
You can't same thing, right? You can't have an accountant 5'7", $150 son named Onassis. That doesn't work.
No, not at all.
There's a quarter of me that would like to name my son something Greek. You know.
Yeah, I mean, you could pull off the beard, and maybe your son could.
I mean, yeah, you haven't really seen me, shirtless or anything, but I'll tell you, I'm a little bit hairy, and I get that from the Greek, I think.
Yeah, then Athanasius.
Yeah, I do like that. I think I like Perseus too.
Perseus is sick.
I think that's cool. List could go on. Anyway, yeah, I think that's pretty cool. All that to say, yeah, I'll be naming my son Wood, and his brother will be named Brick.
Brick.
Yeah,
And then the younger sister, Cement.
that's right. And then, yeah, and I'll be able to unironically say, guys, that was fire. You see, and then something in there.
Wood.
Yeah. Yeah, I like those names. Good stuff.
I'm trying to think of other random names.
Mm-hmm.
Guts.
Guts.
Just guts.
Negative.
Negative.
No, that's a lame name. I think Guts is a little odd. I think naming what could be cool is naming your son Glass, but it's spelled
Glass.
Glas.
Galas.
GLA.
How about Galath?
That almost seems a little dark.
Galath?
That seems like a demon's name.
It's the name of the villain from Infinity Blade. I don't know if you ever played.
It's a villain though. See,
It is a
that's what
villain.
I'm saying.
He was the God King is what no, that was the other guy. What about Raedriar? What do you think of that name? Raedriar.
I don't think anyone would take him seriously.
Raedriar.
That sounds like a video game name. What about
It is
Gore? Gore the God Butcher.
No,
from
Gore. No.
Gorr.
Nah.
There you go.
Raedriar the God King?
Goku Solos Raedriar.
That's not true, actually.
No, it is actually.
Raedriar is unkillable.
Well, Gore would kill
Except
him.
for with the Infinity
Gore-
Blade, who was made by the Worker of Secrets.
Gore has the Necro Sword. He's killed all the gods ever to exist.
The God King isn't a god, though. He's a deathless.
Doesn't matter. Get bent.
You know who actually? Okay.
Last
Who would
thing
know
here.
this?
Last thing here. Go ahead.
There is one character who solos every character in all of fiction, and he's not even a main character. He's actually he's a one use character. His name is Mr. Putback, and all he does is his sole superpower is to put fictional characters back into their stories.
It's incredible how many wrong opinions you were able to have,
Dude,
in a single day, and that's
Dude.
unfortunate. Because
give me any character.
that doesn't matter.
Any character ever. All he does is put them back. He wins the fight because they're back to where